Hey everyone, welcome back to another deck idea brought to you by Double Sleeve. Today we're going over the green Goku leader. Jumping straight into it, we have Son Goku. Auto, when this card is placed in your leader area, activate up to one King Kai's planet from your deck. Auto, when this card attacks, draw one. Awaken, when your life is at 4 or less, or your opponent's leader card's back is facing up. You may switch one of your energy to active mode, have this card get plus 5,000 power for the turn, and flip this card over. We're trying to get a bit of like the Kaioken kind of technique in here. When you're backed into a corner, you can get a bit of a boost. And then on the Awaken side, we have Son Goku, Destined Confrontation. Auto, when this card attacks, draw one card. Activate main, send 4 King Kai's Training from under a King Kai's planet in your battle area to their owner's warp. This card gets plus 45,000 power for the turn and minus 15,000 power during the next turn. Activate battle once per turn. Place one King Kai's Training from under a King Kai's planet in your battle area into its owner's drop area. This card gets plus 10,000 power for the battle and minus 10,000 power during the next turn. So yeah, with that leader, we kind of see that similarity to Kaioken. Obviously, you get this massive power boost, but you do need to pay the consequences for it the following turn. The field card that comes out for your leader is King Kai's Planet. Field, activate main once per turn. Place up to one King Kai's Training from your deck, life, or drop area under this card. Then shuffle any areas you look through with this skill. Activate main once per turn. If there are 4 King Kai's Training under this card, choose one. Choose up to one Son Goku Confronting Invasion in your hand and play it. Choose all green Son Goku cards in your leader area and battle area, and they get plus 5,000 power for the turn. And then draw one card, then choose one card in your hand and place it at the bottom of the deck. So yeah, it definitely has a lot of synergy with the whole deck. You get to look through your deck, life, and drop area, which is cool. But yeah, it could be painful if you have multiple of the King Kai's Training in your life, because there's no way to replace that life. Similar to how we saw with Wish leaders taking out the Dragon Balls and things like that. So yeah, you don't want to have too many of them, but thankfully we're not running 7 of these King Kai's Training. You are still limited to 4. The unison for the deck, Krillin Staunch Defender, 2 specified green, 15k. Auto once per turn if your life is at 3 or less and it's your opponent's turn. When your leader card's power is decreased, switch this card to active mode and it gains blocker for the turn. Plus 1, activate main, choose one card in your hand, place it at the bottom of your deck. For every 2 King Kai's Training under a King Kai's planet in your battle area, draw one card. And then -1, activate main, your opponent chooses one card in their hand and discards it. So yeah, we get a bit of a blocker here on that turn that your leader goes down 10k to try and survive one attack. But the +1 activate main is pretty good. You want to be getting 4 King Kai's Training under the King Kai's planet, which then allows you to at least +1, bottom decking a card and being able to draw 2. So not too bad of a unison. The King Kai's Training that's referenced on the field card. Activate main, choose one King Kai's planet in your battle area, place this card under the chosen card, add up to one Son Goku Confronting Invasion from your deck to your hand, then shuffle your deck. So you do get the option there to, put it underneath the King Kai's planet if you have it in hand, and then the field card can search it from all other areas. North Kai, Master's Guidance, a 1 cost for 1 specified green. Auto, choose one King Kai's planet in your battle area. When this card is played, draw one card, place up to one King Kai's Training from your deck or drop area under the chosen card, then shuffle your deck if you look through it. So giving you another way to get another King Kai's Training underneath the field card, rather than just doing 1 per turn using the field card's activate main. Training Buddy Gregory, auto, choose one card in your hand, place it at the bottom of the deck, then choose one King Kai's Training from under a King Kai's planet in your battle area. Place the King Kai's Training underneath the King Kai's planet in your battle area into the drop area. When this card is played, draw 2 cards, or activate battle for 1 green, place this card in the owner's drop area, choose up to one of your Son Goku cards, and it gets plus 15,000 power for the battle. So yeah, not too bad on the auto. If you are able to, yes, obviously you need to bottom deck a card from hand and then put a King Kai's Training from the field card into the drop area. You get to draw 2 cards. If you already have 4 underneath the field card, and then you don't need to search any more out, it gives you the option to then +1, because you can discard the Training from underneath the field and then pick it straight back up using the field's activate main if you haven't already for that turn. But the activate battle on this is pretty good too, getting that plus 15,000 power. We really want to get these big strong attacks through rather than multiple attacks. So being able to power up our leader and our battle cards to ridiculously high combo will make them quite strong. Moving on to sort of the chain for the deck, starting off with Training Goals Son Goku, a 1 cost for 1 specified green. 4K, auto when this card is played, look at up to 5 cards from the top of your deck, choose up to 1 green Son Goku card with an energy cost of 5 or less, or 1 green Unison card with a specified cost of 2 among them, add it to your hand, shuffle your deck. Activate main, limit 1 for 1 green. If there are 3 or more King Kai's training under a King Kai's planet in your battle area, choose up to 1 Son Goku confronting invasion in your deck or warp, play it on top of this card, then shuffle your deck if you look through it. So yeah, it really starts things off here, allowing us to search for the Unison, or we can search for any piece from the chain. They only go up to 5 costs, so we're able to search all of them. And then it gives you the option there to play them as well. You do need 3 or more King Kai's training under that planet, so we want to get them under there as soon as possible. And then we're able to play the chain for quite cheap. The next card, Kaioken Son Goku Confronting Invasion. This one is unique, barrier, activate main, limit 1 for 1 green. If there are a total of 4 King Kai's training in your warp and or under a King Kai's planet in your battle area, and you send this card to its owner's warp, play up to 1 Son Goku maximum gains from your deck, then shuffle your deck. So again, we've got that option to go up the chain for quite cheap. We're able to search these cards out from the deck, which means we don't need a minus from hand, and it's much more easier to find them. Kaioken Son Goku maximum gains, 3 cost for 2 specified greens. This one's a 19k. Auto when this card is played, draw 1 card, then choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards with an energy cost of 4 or less and KO it. And we have activate main, limit 1 for 1 green. If your opponent has 3 or more energy and your life is less than or equal to your opponent's, choose up to 1 Kaioken Son Goku decisive battle in your hand and play it on top of this card. So yeah, when this card gets played, we get a little bit of removal. But yeah, we definitely want to be using this card to go into the decisive battle. A bit of requirements on there. Opponent needs to have 3 energy, 3 or more energy, and our life needs to be less than or equal to our opponent. So keep an eye out for those. But moving on to the decisive battle, we have the SPR version, Kaioken Son Goku Decisive Battle, 5 cost for 3 specified green. We have deflect, double strike, barrier, and dual attack. So a ton of keywords on this battle card. EX evolve for 3 specified green. If your opponent has 3 or more energy, you can evolve over a mono green Son Goku card with an energy cost of 2 or 3, and there are a couple that are available. Auto when this card is played, choose up to 2 of your opponent's battle cards, ignoring barrier, and KO them. Your leader card and Son Goku cards in your battle area get minus 10,000 power during your opponent's next turn. And then auto at the end of your turn, send this card to its owner's warp. If you do, play up to 1 Son Goku confronting invasion from your warp. So yeah, this is the big boss monster for the deck. This is kind of how we want to be killing our opponents. It's deflect, it's barrier, it's going to be difficult to remove mid-battle. There's only a couple of cards that can interact with it. We're able to KO 2 battle cards on play, ignoring barrier, really strong, but we are going to suffer the consequences if we aren't able to kill our opponent, because our leader and our Son Goku cards are going to get that minus 10,000 power for our opponent's next turn. And at the end of the turn, so this card gets removed, but we get to start that chain again. Not starting from the very beginning, but we do need to go back to the second card and start it over again and try and live through the next turn. Moving on to some of the other cards in the deck, to put a bit more pressure on our opponent, I've added Feet Kamehameha. For those that don't remember this from the Son Gohan reboot, it's activate battle. If your leader card is a green Son Goku, for the duration of the battle, it gains plus 15,000 power and critical. So yeah, really strong, being able to put this onto our leader, using the activate main, adding that 45,000 power, putting us up to 60k, and then being able to add another 15k and critical. Really strong when you combine it with cards like Further Instruction Champer. So for 2 energy, we're able to get, to ridiculously high battle power, into the 80s, the 70s, 80s. Critical double strike can really put a bit of pressure on your opponent and almost force them to take that damage. Majin Buu Unadulterated Malice, a card that we saw out of Cross Spirits. pretty strong green card. 2 energy, 1 specified green. Counter attack, if your leader is green, negate the attack, then play this card. If you played a card, choose 1 card in your hand and discard it. Your opponent can't attack for the turn unless they choose 2 cards in their hand and discard them each time. Also have a Union Absorb here, but that's for a margin leader. Not going to be relevant for us. We're mainly playing it for the counter attack. If we're not able to kill our opponent with our big attacks, and we are getting that minus effect, going down to -5, -10, things like that, or 5k, this can kind of get us through that turn. We're able to put a bit of a floodgate in place, so our opponent needs to discard cards, and they're limited to the amount of attacks that they can get through. Shocking Death Ball, a good green negate. Counter attack, if your leader card is green, negate the attack, choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards, energy cost of 2 or less, and KO it. Permanent, Sparking 5. So if we have 5 or more cards in the drop area, we're able to activate this card for free by taking the life instead of paying its energy cost. Good green negate. And we have Homicidal Clones from Battle Evolution. Counter attack, if your leader is mono green, negate the attack, then play 1 meta token. Meta tokens have 5k and 5000 combo power, and that token gains blocker for the turn. This is a 2 cost negate, 2 specified green, but we do have a permanent in place. When your life is at 5 or less, you can activate this card's counter skill from your hand by adding 1 card from your life instead of paying its energy cost. So another really strong green negate, that can keep us alive if we are getting into that minus zone after our battle cards. We do have a bit of KOing in the deck, a couple of cards that I'll go over quickly. So I have added Surprise Attack Freezer, just puts a bit more pressure on the opponent with those 15k critical swings. So we're able to KO through cards like the Shocking Death Ball, the Kaioken Maximum Gains KOs on play, and we also have Freezer Charismatic Villain, a really relevant green counterplay that we've seen since Rise of the Unison Warrior, which is a lot more available now with the reprints that have come out as well, so should be quite easy to get your hands on. Counterplay, you can't activate the counterplay skills of other cards for the turn. Play this card from your hand. Permanent, when you have a green Unison card with 2 or more markers in play, you can activate this card's counter skill from your hand without paying its energy cost. And the auto is when this card is played, choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards with an energy cost of 7 or less and KO it. Really strong, able to remove a lot of battle cards from the game right now. I've also put in Fuse Zamasu, Deity's Wrath, Indestructible, activate main for 1 green energy. If you have 3 or more energy, choose green battle cards in your battle area with 5000 power or more and a total energy cost of 5, and place them in your drop area. Play this card from your hand. Auto, when this card attacks, your opponent chooses 1 card in their hand and places it in the drop area. Gives us something to do with the Freezer Charismatic Villain. We can evolve over that rather than just having this 10k sit on the board. But there's also, other little sequences that you can do to kind of get Zamasu out. You can do it over a Surprise Attack Freezer and a North Kai. Things like that. If you have one of the chains out, you can kind of make a combination as well if you don't have the Kaioken to go into, if you've used them all. So rather than just having these cards sit on the board with nothing to do, you can kind of get into some combinations to get Zamasu out. For the Overrealm, we've gone SS4 Bardock fighting against Fate, Overrealm 6 dual attack. The reason that I put this in is it's 25k, it's dual attack. We can kind of pressure our opponent down. If we're able to get them to 1 or 2 life, we can really put some pressure on with our Kaioken, with our leader, and the double strike Champa. That's kind of how we can finish our opponent. Leader swings are usually the safest because you can't interact with them as much as battle cards. So if we're able to get our leader up to 80k, 90k double strike without having to combo that many cards, then it can really put a lot of pressure on our opponent. So SS4 Bardock can help us get there. Super combo, we've got Defending Father Paragus, really strong super combo. When you combo with this card, if your leader's green, life's at 4 or less, draw 2 cards, then choose 1 card in your hand and send it to the warp. Using this over the green super combo that we saw come out of Vermilion Bloodlines, I believe. That one, you bottom deck first, then draw 2. This one allows you to draw 2 first, and then you can warp whichever card you don't think is going to be relevant. So really strong. And then for the secret rare, we've gone Majin Buu, Incarnation of Demonic Evil, Ultimate, Double Strike, Counter. If a card other than your leader card is in battle, negate the counter attack skill, then play this card. Permanent, if your leader is mono green or a black Demon Realm Race card, and you're activating this card's counter skill, reduce the energy cost of this card in your hand by 7. And then the other part is relevant for a Demon Realm Race. So it becomes a 3-cost counter that allows you to play a 40k double strike when you can do this in combination with some of the other cards that we have that are quite strong. Yeah, it'd be really good. I'd probably prefer to run the new Wicked Saiyan's secret rare that we saw come out of the new set as out of Saiyan Showdown, but it hasn't been uploaded onto Deck Planet just yet. But yeah, that's the deck. Give it a try. There's a couple of cool little techniques in there to mess around with. Obviously, we've got the Kaioken Son Goku. The art is amazing on this card. The effects are really strong. And yeah, it's a pretty cool theme that we're getting these big power boosts and then the minus effects on the following turn if we're not able to kill the opponent. But let me know how you go. Comment in the video if you do try this out, if you enjoy it. Give us a like, subscribe to the channel. It helps us immensely. But other than that, I hope you enjoyed the video and we'll see you next time. Thanks, guys.